Welcome to NP Financials Monthly Masterclass, 2nd of July 2023. Time is 3:04:20 at Melbourne, Australia. Thank you all for taking your time off in a Sunday, especially on a Sunday afternoon. And I really appreciate it. So today, along with me, Partha Banerjee, we have Marty, our senior trader, and we have Kerry Brown, our behavioral neurologist, come everything in psychology. Yep. So she'll be talking probably for 45 minutes to 60 minutes. I'll be talking maybe 35 to 40. Marty will be talking 25 to 30 minutes. All right. If you have any questions, as you know, please ask. Please raise your hand and ask. This will be an interactive. We'll be talking less. We'll be listening more, so that we can learn from each other. So before we start, as usual, we'll be starting with the general financial product advice warning. NP Financials Pty Limited Ltd advises all service recipients of the following. This information is provided only on general financial advice basis. I hope you can hear me and you can see the general advice warning. I'll give you another 15 to 20 seconds to go through it and then tell me once you have agreed, read, and understood.
Agree the same.
Agreed? Fantastic. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. So what we'll do, we'll start today. I'll be first starting, and then I'll be taking this opportunity to talk and share my experience on the last month and the last week, or any other questions you might have. And then we'll be taking all your questions. So we'll be discussing all the asset classes, and yeah. So and then Marty will come, and then Kerry Brown will enlighten us, because trading is all about, as I always say, me versus myself when I'm trading, you versus yourself when you are trading. No one in between except the computer screen. We don't know the who is behind the computer screen. Maybe George Soros, maybe anyone, any Paul Tudor Jones, maybe Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Barclays. We don't want to know the names. We don't want to know their influence, but we know how to be in sync with the big guys like the bank. So we'll be starting with Aussie dollar as in front of you, because this fellow Aussie dollar, although it is in a very it's a tight range, as you possibly can see on a monthly chart. As a monthly chart is a very tight range between this 7015, which is an yearly, and then 6410 again, it is an yearly. So this is a resistance and this is a support. And for 4 plus 4, 8 plus 3, 11 months, is that range of 600 points. Aussie dollar, 600 points with a exchange value of 66 cents is good enough. Is I think is more than good enough. 10% movement. So within that 10% movement, what we need to do, if we can even capture 1 or 2% every month out of that 10% total range. So from one currency, one asset class, which is Forex, one currency, which is Aussie dollar, we can actually pocket 4%, and we need only 10% to pass the audition, or you can even do more than that. All right, so let's see Aussie dollar latest trades which were generated. This is the 2 TP, two turning point, one on the line chart, one on the bar chart, as you all know, who have covered this module and unit. Two turning points. Rebecca, good afternoon, Rebecca. How are you? So, Rebecca, since you were joining, if you can please let us know in a chat your email address, that would be great. All right. Uh,
Partha, sorry, but can you explain the two turning points in a very brief?
yeah, two turning point is an extended version of the peaks and the turn and the troughs, in which we are looking for a close, which are looking for a close on the third. Everyone, I hope everyone understood Gautam's question. Gautam is asking what is the turning point 2TP. So the close of the third bar on this peak formation, close of the third bar is lower than the low of the second bar. So that is a turning point, and that in bar chart is a turning point in the bar. And the Peter Kumar admit. Good afternoon, Peter. I appreciate if you can let us know your full name and email address. That would be great. Or in the chat section, you can let only the admin know. That is enough. All right. So we have new members. We'll welcome them. Peter Kuma, and then we have, of course, our existing student who has joined for the first time, Sunil. This is for the first time you're joining, Sunil, isn't it? You can unmute and
Uh,
talk.
Hi, Partha. I'm joining second time.
All right, yeah, second time.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Peter, this is
Thank you.
your first time, right? Peter, you can unmute and talk, and then mute yourself again. Probably Peter having some problem with the mic. All right. Okay. So if we take that trade here, from here, the last trade, and we'll be discussing the previous trades, which was generated by our proprietary trading strategy. So I was talking about Australian dollar. I started with the monthly view of this on a 0.70 cents to 64 cents. Within that 600 points, 600 pips Aussie dollar. We are talking about how many pips we can collect. So we can collect from here. We have collected, or we can, because our strategy will generate the signals. Our strategy will tell you what to do, and our trader foundation will tell you what not to do. But to do or what not to do is entirely upon you. So whether you take this trade based on this sample setup, or whether you take this trade based on the 2TP or sample setup like this one or this one, it is entirely up to you. Whether you close this trade on all sellers out, it is up to you. 108, because we'll be telling you everything. 130, we'll be telling you everything, but it is up to you to take the action to do it, because doing it is most important. To take the action, it makes most important. Of course, before that, we are putting our all our effort, whatever it takes to be a successful trader, capable of at least having 3 to 10%, like Balbir did last month, 15.4% in 1 month. So that's what we have done through our practice tasks, through our modules and units. And the system will generate the signals, like it is telling us to go short here. If we go short here, and we can close the trade here and at 167. Why? I'll ask you. There are two reasons which came to my mind within fractions of a second, or you can take a minute, doesn't matter. Why I am thinking to close this trade, or why I close this trade, why I should close this trade from our exit strategy. Of course, it is from the exit strategy. Two things, what I saw on this bar to close the trade. Whether you are running this trade on the sample setup on the 2TP 168 points, or you are taking this hook on the histogram of 61. So 61 plus 167, that is 230 odd points. Not bad, not bad, because before that we have got a tremendous run of 180. So 230 plus 170 is 400 points in 1 month from Aussie dollar, from Aussie dollar. So my question to you, before I go into deep, or just answer your question, my question to you, I'll bring this one so that it is in front of you, so that you know what I'm using. I'm using an arrow. And my question to you, I'm giving you hint. Why should we, as a trader, should think of booking profit, taking profit, or booking profit here? Now asking. So I'm writing down book profit, BP, book profit. All right. So why should I do it? Now it is up to you to tell me. All right. I'll give you 1 minute to think and respond. Too much pressure, isn't it?
I
Not
think
really.
maybe it is taking support at the pivot level, and then probably if you draw the Fibonacci support levels as well, then retracements, then it will probably hit at either 61% or 78%.
Oh
So yeah,
wow. And you want to add anything, Gautam?
um, um, that's it pretty much. I mean, coming in
Uh,
my
I,
mind in the first thing.
I was so excited with the 100% response. I was exactly going to say the same thing what Gautam, who is a very new student, only 6 to 7 months, I think, not even that. Right, Gautam?
Yep.
Could talk exactly what I am telling you from last from 2010, 13 years. So what Gautam is proving to us that in a 6 months, that's what we say, in a 6 months period, you can be a professional trader. You can be a professional trader. That's what we always say. In a 6 months, we say in 18 hours time, you can be a professional trader. And what is the difference between a professional trader or an amateur trader? Nothing. A professional trader is a trader who has seen possibly more than an amateur trader, because he's been trading for his living, his or her living. So Gautam said exactly Gautam is doing fantastic, like you all are. As we say, become a successful trader in just 9 hours. Just 9 hours. 9 hours means 30 minutes every week. That is 3 months or 3.5 months, and 18 hours is 6 months, because it involves a lot of practice tasks. Lot of practice tasks. Everyone I have thought of, for probably Vijayata is struggling to join. I don't know why, but anyway, Vijayata, when she started 1 month ago on the, and she did the first module, first class, in our basics of trading. She said, "Oh my God, it is so simple. Why should I take 3 months, or why should I take 9 months to learn forex trading?" Then we said, of course, go start, and then when we are in module 2 or unit 2, then we will be giving you practice tasks, so much of practice task in these modules and units. He will tell us, that is what we said, or 9 hours is not enough. I probably need 90 hours or 45 hours. So to come back to what Gautam said, exactly correct. We have an exit strategy if we are entering here. And what more happened here? What more happened here so that we are entering? What one more thing happened here? Apart from the 2TP, one more thing happened here. This color is not suitable. All right. So tell me what happened there. What happened there? What happened there to tell us that the probability, or we can stack the probability in our favor? Tell me, two things happened here. One thing actually.
It is
I
touch
think
the
Morning
upper
Star
Bollinger Bands.
and the
Yeah,
touching the Bollinger Band. So yeah,
yeah. Morning Star, and then
touching the Bollinger Band.
Bollinger
touching the
Bands.
Bollinger Band. And what else? Anything else?
Divergence.
Yeah, Kraken snapback on the 200
Yeah,
AMA.
Ben, yeah, Ben is 100% crack. Kraken snapback on two things: on the 200 moving average, which is this fellow, and on a yearly resistance, which is 6825. So Kraken snap. All of you who had said Morningstar is fine. Sorry, overbought on the Bollinger is fine. These are the things which will make you or make or mar a trader. Or like this fellow, overbought. When the Bollinger, when the big bar, when the close is near to the high, and this fellow is appearing at that level or previous. Look at this fellow, unbelievable to the power infinity. Look at this fellow. This fellow exactly stopped at the previous resistance too. Can you make out the I have extended. I've extended the previous resistance, and look at this high of this one. Look at this high of this one. Horizontal line is 68.97, and the high of this one is 68.99. Oh my God. So this is what the banks do. This is what the most successful trader would do, what he or she will do, he or she will enter at a point, buy, sell at resistance, buy at support, enter at a point for enough reason. Why should we enter here? Because there is an overbought here, because there is an overbought on the Bollinger Band here, and it could not surpass the resistance here, and then we saw a turning point, and then we saw a crack and snapback. So many, all of you got 100 out of 100, brilliant. And the last thing which our friend Gautam said is the Fibonacci. So where is the Fibonacci? So this is the Fibonacci. So if we, when price is here at NP Financials, what do? We always draw the Fibonacci from left to right according to our modules and units, and go to the immediate swing high, swing low, which is this one, left to right to the immediate swing high, which is point 0.2, and draw that. And as Gautam said, and this is 61.8, unbelievable. So if you see that 61.8, yep, 61.8 at a price level of 0.6627. 6627. So these are the things which will tell us to book the profit here. So 167 plus 67 is almost 230 points, as I told you. So if you are running at 230 points, you will get at least 2% here, 1% and 1%, because the stop loss here is small, and here also you will get 2%. So 4% in Aussie dollar. That's what I wanted to show you. And previous month also, which we had discussed in the last month also, I don't want to repeat. So our system generated 4% from this Aussie dollar. Now the question to you, you don't have to answer now, but you can, whether you have taken this. If yes, why? Why we already discussed. If not, why? That is most important. That will help carry to understand why even the strategy is generating signals, why the traders are not taking it, and it will help carry to shape our psychology courses, which she has already started. Yeah. Any question? Nothing wrong or nothing wrong? Any answer? Any response? Yes, I have taken it. Yes, I have not taken it. How can I take it? Because I'm doing demo trading. How can I take it? Because I have not done the live trading. It can be anything. Otherwise, I'll move on to the next. I'll give you 30 seconds to think and process your thought process, and then respond. I don't like only me talking, so please talk.
Yeah, Partha, there was also the yearly pivot point in there as well that it failed to break above, which I noticed as being a major resistance.
Let's see. Thank you, Ben. So let's see. We have a monthly pivot, as we can see. We can do the extend on all charts, or we can do name, and we can also do value. So much of things we can do. And then Ben said yearly pivot, which we are using also. So PIV for pivot. Go here, normal, and then do the yearly one. Yearly, yeah, absolutely, Ben, you were right. So the yearly pivot is at 68.83 and the close of that fellow is 68.84, just one pip above the yearly pivot, and this fellow close is 68.82, one pip below the yearly pivot. I have never seen such a crack and snapback on the yearly pivot. Ben, thank you for showing this one pip crack and snapback on the yearly pivot. I hope everyone understood what I said. If you have not understood, please raise hand, please ask questions, otherwise we keep on moving. So what I'm telling you, yearly pivot, this one here, let me change the color, let me change it purple, and then let me change this fellow as it, yeah, that is yearly pivot. And this fellow, which is the all, let me remove this, which is the all, also move this, because I want a clean chart. So this fellow, which is a all sellers out at NP Financials. Our strength at NP Financials is we identify all buyers out, we identify all sellers in, we identify all sellers out. So if I have to write this down again, we'll possibly write this down as all sellers out, as you know, and then you know better than me. I will write down all buyers in, and then we can write down here all buyers out. So our strength at NP Financials is bar by analysis. And as you, I have not said anything, as you, Gautam, and then Ben, and each one of you who has contributed to this yearly crack and snapback. So the yearly pivot is at 68.83, and why this fellow closed at 68.84.3? Anyone? Why it did not close below 83 but close above 83? Anyone? Quick, market will not give you that much time if you are doing intraday. Intraday is only 10 seconds or 1 minute. No, no, no. I'm scaring you. It will give you 5 minutes, 15 minutes to think. But since I have limited time, because we have to listen to what Martis has to say, what Kerry has to say. So why? Because it is a bull trap, my dear friend. It is a bull trap to close beyond the 68.83 to declare to the amateur that this is going to go up because it has touched close above, but the other two rules will not be fulfilled. High not taken out, yeah, so that will not be fulfilled. That will be a fake out. That is why it is a bull trap to the amateur, signal to the amateur that you buy here because I have closed above, I have pushed the price to close above. I means a professional institution or a person or a group. I have pushed the price beyond 68.83 and closed the price at 68.84, and close is the most important thing. And since I have closed the price at 68.84, you go long. You go long means you give me buy orders. If you go give me buy orders, I will put my $1 million sell order so that I get enough buy order to benefit out of that. That's exactly the English or whatever narration of the bar closing beyond the weekly pivot, and this fellow closing 1 pip below the yearly pivot. So that exactly is the story. All right. Any question on Aussie? Otherwise, I'll move on to this sterling Aussie and sterling euro, sterling Aussie, and then I'll go to shares. Everyone understood what we discussed? Thanks to Gautam, Ben, and others. I could not recognize the voice. Sorry for that. All right. So if there is no other question coming, I'll go to the Euro Aussie, because this is Aussie USD, in which the base currency is Aussie. In Euro Aussie or in sterling Aussie, the term currency will be Aussie and the base currency will be Euro or sterling. All right. So let's go there and do a thing. All right. Okay. Okay, so this is just the opposite mirror image of Aussie dollar, because in Aussie dollar, Aussie USD, Aussie was the base, and in GBP AUD, Aussie is the term. So in sterling Aussie, what will happen? What will happen? We get an opportunity to buy here. It may not be a 2TP, it may not be another a crack and snap back. The context may be different, but that is the advantage of observing Aussie dollar and trading sterling Aussie, because it will be just the mirror image of the Aussie dollar. So what happened here? What happened here is from this point onwards, after this divergence, I was supposed to ask you a question, but I forgot to ask. After this divergence, because price came down from swing low to swing low, always swing low. This is a swing low. This is a swing low. From this swing low to swing low, price came down, and divergence, our divergence black line went up. So this is divergence. So we will go here. We'll go here. Preferably, we want to see this close above this, but we'll go this here because that is a line chart turning point. And then from here, if we are entering at this point, according to our strategy, according to our blue histogram, very simple. Blue means buy, red means sell. It is not simple, but not that simple, because you have to learn what not to do when. That is most important. So if we are going here, the stop loss of 152 points, our trade is running at 419 points. So 419 points out of 143 points, that is almost 3%, my dear friend. My dear friend, 3%. Yep. Just a small bar. When the bar was forming, everyone was saying, no, 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 this is in a range, this is in a blah, 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 blah. Okay, before that, I'll ask my question on Sterling Aussie. What happened here? What happened here? My favorite question. Probably Ben will answer. I don't know. Everyone, each one of you can answer. What happened here? What happened here on these 4 bars? On these 4 bars, what happened to go long? Very simple. What happened? What this 4 bars telling us to go long? At NP Financials, we are extremely critical about bar by bar analysis, because that's what market presents us, bar by bar. That's how market unfolds, bar by bar, day by day. Bar means or it can be a day, it can be a 2 day, it can be a 1 minute, it can be 5 minutes, 15 minutes. So what happened here? What it is telling us? I'll give you a hint. Same thing happened here. What did I do? Yeah. So same thing happened here. I gave you a hint. Anyone? Struck?
One
Low taken out.
Sorry, come again.
Low taken out.
To low taken out is generally used for going short, isn't it? I'm asking for going long.
Sorry, I
All
taken out.
sellers out.
I taken out of which bar? This bar?
Is all sellers out?
All sellers out. Yes, Gautam said all sellers out. Vic said I taken out. Anyone? Any last answer? Very simple.
It went from one side of the band to the other.
Yeah, outside of the band, yeah, that can be a reason. I would not say anyone is wrong or correct. I'll only say what at NP Financials we provide maximum times. I have repeated this probably 10,000 times in last 1 year. What is this? This fellow. Let's see. This is first of all. Let me start from bar by bar. This fellow can be. I'm not saying that it is. It is indeed, but can be a all sellers are, because it's not a good, not a strong one. But if we see this fellow, if we see this fellow, it can be a support. If we see this fellow, this can be a support. Yeah, it can be all sellers out. So I'm not quite sure, because it can come to S1. At least S1 it can come. All right, let's see. This fellow did a harami. This is a, so if we have failed, if we have failed to understand that is a all sellers out, if we have failed to understand that that is a all sellers out, and if we have failed, so what this next what this next candle, those of you who are practicing candlestick, I respect that. So let me also do a candle. So the next fellow is telling a small harami at a support. If we do a Fibonacci from here to here, it will be 61.8. So harami. Now let's see the magic. Next one. Next bar did not close below this low of the harami. Next bar did not close below the low of the harami. Next candle did not close below the low of the harami. What what is this going on? For 3 bars, whether it is 2 day or 1 day, doesn't matter. For 6 days in this example, price has not gone below this low and close. What does it mean? It means that this is enough, and this fellow will probably resume its uptrend, because this fellow is in a very strong uptrend. Because this fellow is in a very strong uptrend. When we'll hear Marty speaking, Marty will talk about impulsive corrective, all those things. So I'll not go. I don't know much of that details, but I can see that this is an impulsive move, and this can be a corrective move. And these 3 bars, 3 candles did not close below the low. That is enough for us at NP Finance to understand that we can buy here, because there's a divergence here also, to expect price to go. I don't know whether it will be a stopped out or a cost of business. We don't know whether it will go to 200. No one knows anything. If anyone says that I know what the next bar is for certainty, probably he is lying. I'd say at MP Financials, from our back testing, from our last experience, we can say there is a 77% chance that this fellow will go up, because of 3 candles not closing below the low of the harami. Let's see. Rest is history. All right. So that was the point I wanted to show you, how small things actually can contribute to our profitability. So I'll give you 30 seconds to ask any questions on GBP AUD before I go to the next asset class, which will be shares. Any question? Any question on forex? Any doubt? Anything which you forgot to ask in your weekly class? Anything? If not, then let's go to the share trading module and let's see what our share trading module is doing. So this is our forex trading module and the strategy. We'll go to our share trading, which is this fellow. In the meantime, anyone can ask any questions. All right, interesting one. Let me start with this one. This is a very interesting one. All right. Okay, let's do this one. We at Australia love CSL. We at Australia love Cochlear, as people in America love Tesla, Apple, Amazon, uh, Facebook. Yeah, maybe Goldman Sachs. I don't know how many people love Goldman Sachs. I don't know. All right. But definitely in Australia, we are proud of CSL. We are proud of Cochlear. We are proud of PHP, Rio Tinto. There are many other companies, Commonwealth Bank, Macquarie. But we trade only two of them, CSL and Cochlear. So CSL has generated a sell signal here. This is our according to our share trading strategy. CSL has generated a sell signal on this pillar on 8th of June, and a buy signal here on 4th of April, and many other buy signal. But for the first time, it generated a sell signal. The low has to be taken out by the entry distance, ESD. We say entry distance, which is 285 points. And so this low has to be taken out by that entry stop distance for this fellow to go down. So this may be a question to Vic, because he is trading his own superannuation fund from the knowledge gained from NP Financial share trading strategy. And let's take this one here to we what is our role here. Once we see this fellow, it is very simple. It is much less complicated or simpler than forex trading. All right. So once the red, because we are extremely visual, that's why we say green means for buying opportunity, red means selling opportunity. Yeah, that is 80% of our strategy. And all our research for the last 13 years have gone into developing these histograms. Yeah. So we can place the trade here on this date, which is the 8th of June, and this is a 2-day chart. Similarly, effective is on 1 day. So 8th of June, Thursday, this bar has started and closed on 9th of June. Yeah. 9th of June. So our job, again I repeat this, our job is to place a trade to go short before 4 p.m. because the market will close at 4 p.m. This is the major difference between forex asset class and a share stock trading asset class, or shares asset class. So the major difference is Australian market will close at 4 o'clock. ASX close at 4 o'clock. So our job on Friday, 3:55, 3:50, 3:45, doesn't matter, 15 minutes, but not after 4 o'clock. Not after 4 o'clock. Yeah. So before 4 o'clock, our job is to place a trade, 305 minus the ESD, 271. To place a trade around here, let me do the maths here, which is 305, 305. For 100 shares, it will be 30500. 30500 minus 271 in front of you is the entry price. So 302.29. So let me write it down so that you remember, so that you also understand what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about engineering level mathematics. I'm talking about a subtraction, which can be done by a class 1 student. So 305 is the low, 0.00 minus the ESD is 271 without the without the decimal point, it results into 302.29, which means 302.29. So for 100 shares, because I have taken 2 decimal outs. So this is for 100 shares, 100 numbers. Yeah. Alright, so we will place trade before 4 p.m. My dear friend, please be careful about this. Yeah, 4 p.m. ASX, Melbourne, Sydney time. I don't know about other time. Perth, Brisbane. 4 p.m. Melbourne, Sydney time, Canberra, Hobart time. We must come and go to our broker who can be Go Markets, and then place the trade at 302.29 for 100 shares. All right, and let's and we can hope that this possibly can do good for us. We don't know. Our job is only this much. Sell at 302.29. That is our job. That's it. So before 4 p.m. we'll do that. All right. Interesting things will happen possibly now. Let's see. We are not filled in because it has not gone to 302. Let me draw a line at 302 so that you know what we are trying to achieve here. We are trying to go short at a point at which is 302.29. So 302.29, we are going to go short. All right, short. This is our pending order in our go market, go market. All right, this is our cover pending order. All right, so then we are not triggered. Everyone agrees up to this point. Then let's see what happens. Boom. So, and can anyone explain me where we will get filled in? Will we get filled in at 302.29, or we will get filled in at the open price of this one here, which is the opening price at this point is configure horizontal line, and the open price is 290.50, 290.50, which is the open is the open, which is the open here. All right, your answer, where are we getting filled in? 30229 or 290.50? And then I'll ask the second question, small question. Go.
Is it depend on the market placement order, like a market price or limit price?
We are placing a pending order. We are placing a pending order, my dear friend, because the very good question. We are placing a pending order. That's a very good question. Let me explain, because these are the small little concepts which keep on bothering us. Okay. Let me tell you what type of pending order. So now the last price at this point was 305.00. We are placing a trade at 302.29. So it will be a pending stop sell order. Do you agree with me or not? Because the
Yes.
price, yeah, everyone says yes. So the price, because the price is 302.29, which is lower than this price of 305.00, it has to be a pending stop sell order. It cannot be a pending limit sell order. Never. Limit sell is at the top, more than the market price. Top sell is at the bottom here. So did I answer your question, Vic?
Yes, Partha.
All right. Now tell me. Now the your question is, where did you get filled in? What did Go Market give you filled in? Filled in price. Why not? Why Go Market? Anyone? Any and all broker will give you a filled in price, because I have to rush. 290.50, my dear friend. 290.50, because that is what the market opened. So the gap between 302.29, 302.29 and 290.50, this gap is known as infamous slippage. If you remember our earlier modules and units, and the slippage here is 302.29 minus 290.50, and the answer to that question is minus 290.50, which is humongous 1179 points if I take this point out. Next day when he woke up, probably woke up at 6 o'clock and did everything with exercises and all those things. So when the market opened at 10:10, this market opens actually 3 minutes past 10. So when this market opens, you saw, oh my God, I had a gap or slippage of 1179 points. What do I do? I'm gone. Who could have thought this way? Because the bar is always. Anyone have experienced this type of gap? Please share. Unless and otherwise you're sharing your experience, we are not learning, isn't it? Because these are the small little things which will give a everyday present itself. Anyone have experienced this? Like the crack and snapback happened here. Like the crack and snapback happened here. Like the crack and snapback happened here. Yeah, anyone?
Yeah, all
Yeah?
the time.
All the time. Marty says all the time. This is a humongous one. Thank you, Marty. This is a humongous one. But don't worry, be happy. Because when we enter at this point, this is beyond our control. This slippage is one thing which is beyond our control, and this is very infamous in Australian market, not so in American market, but very infamous in Australian market, especially for BHP, Rio Tinto, so less for Cochlear and CSL. All anyway, to cut this story short, we have 1179 point, but anyway we entered at this point. Let's see what happened. All right. So even if we have entered at this point at 290.50, we are running at a profit of 1312 points for 100 shares. So that's what CSL did. Any question before I go to anyone or any of your choice? Otherwise, I'll just go to Apple and hand it over to Marty, and then Marty will take us through. Any question? I told about many small little things which people have forgotten possibly. I talked about the time of ASX 200 or ASX 500 close. I talked about spending stop sell order, limit sell order. I talked about how many minimum shares we should buy. I talked about filled in price. We talked about slippage, and not last but not the least, we talked about the profit of 1312. Even if we slept 1179, which is our loss of profit. This is our loss of profit. This was our, had not there was not been gap here, we could have entered here 302. That's so it could have been added 1179 plus 1312. But even after this slippage of 1179, we get a profit of 1312. So now I'll go to the last one, which is possibly Apple, and then Cochlear, and then I'll close. My goodness, this fellow. Look at the I don't want to say anything here because Apple, Apple is Apple, and going skyrocketing from this green. If I for a moment, if I take this for a moment, if I take this out, price, if I take this out, price, the band is also going out, isn't it? Okay, let the price be there. So I'm talking about this green band at NV Financials, which is responsible for telling us the strength of the trend. This green, light green band. This green band from 2nd of March is telling that Apple is in an uptrend. It is going up. And in this month, it has generated one signal here on the 13th of June, another one here on 27th of June, and another one here on 26th of May. There is a little bit of, you should ask this question, there is a little bit, why are we taking this trade where there is a R2 here? Those of you who have done Forex, that is a very common question, not to go here on a reward to risk ratio. If it is Forex, I will not go. But because in shares, especially the band strength is so much, and the band strength is so much, we don't care about the pivot point for shares as an asset class, because the resistances are meant to be broken in a strong uptrend like this. strong uptrend like this, and supports are meant to be broken in a downtrend. I don't know which shares in a downtrend, but Tesla was in a downtrend for a long period of time. Let's see, but from last month it is going up again. Yeah. So the red one here, the red like this one, the red signal, the strength of the red band compared to the green, which is very small. The strength of the red one is telling us the supports will be broken. So this strength will tell us whether the supports are going to break or not, and this green one is going to tell us whether this fellow is going to break the resistances or not. All right. So we do you have any question on Apple or Tesla or CSL or Cochlear or anything before I go and then request Marty to talk?
Yeah, Partha.
Anyone
I'm
having any
actually
question? There go
um
Marty.
I'm looking at Tesla right now as well.
Mhm.
I have the
So I'll stop presenting. You need to present, isn't it? All
okay.
right. Thank you for your patience. Now Marty will talk, and Marty will start with Tesla. Thank you, Marty.
Hey everyone.
Hi,
Please
Marty.
please bear with me today. I've got some asthma, and
Sorry about that.
it's giving me a bit of a hard time. So I'll try not to be rude and cough in the microphone.
No, you're sounding perfectly all right.
Okay, so can we all see my screen, or is it loading?
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right, so with this guy here, Tesla.
Can anyone see? Everyone see Marty's screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
So here I will zoom out a little bit. Okay, we can see it's in a definite big uptrend all the way up here. So this is an impulsive wave here. And it's very possible we're still in a corrective wave down at the moment. One thing that has caught my eye is not on this chart here. I'll bring up the daily chart. But we have this mid R1 on the yearly, where we've done a crack and snap back on this fellow here. Okay, so not only that, but this can be seen as an A, a B, and a C pattern up here, which can be a corrective wave, which within that big corrective wave. Okay, so if this crack and snap is true, we should pay a lot of respect to the close below low taken out rule, which Partha has explained to you guys in the Traders Foundation. And it could be an idea to possibly place a short stop order on this fellow as well. So that was about my 2 cents worth on that Partha, just trying to highlight the fact of this guy here, which also seems to carry some weight. These mid resistance levels on the yearlies.
Absolutely. Mid R1 is there, yeah.
Because we see down here, it's respected the mid S1 as well down here.
Unbelievable. Mid S1 to mid R1 in this month, starting from 1st of January.
Yeah. Perfect ABC sort of a pattern as well. And as if we look at our weekly chart again, so we have our 1, 2, 3 for our A, 1, 2, 3 for our B. Then this C down here could be made up of a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and quite possibly a fifth wave here. But we do have your reversal, your inverse hammer here. This guy here also has a pretty big tail on it there, so a fair bit of indecision going on at the moment around here.
Yeah, inverted hammer and hanging man.
Mm.
And harami also. Number 4 is a harami also.
Yeah. So I don't really have a lot this week. What else can I highlight? So
What's your gold? Which is a gold, absolute gold from you? We got it.
oh yeah, gold is. We can confirm that gold has started an impulsive wave down now. So we've come up to our yearly R1 here. We would have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So that's our first impulsive wave down. So from here, it's quite likely to anticipate a reversal back up. We could even come right up to $2,000 again before we start resuming back down a very long way. This one might be better to look at on our monthly. If you like your candlestick patterns, it's all lined up pretty well with, again, this yearly pivot point here.
It's 1. Yep.
Resistance 1. We have like a triple top as well.
Absolutely.
And we have these nice candlesticks. Oh, everything's all coming together. So we might have this little reversal up at the moment now to at least $2,000 before we continue all the way down, a long way, at least below this fellow here.
I have a question. Why?
Yeah.
What is making you think that it will possibly go up or it will not collapse? So what are the probability or what are the reasoning why you're thinking 2000 it possibly can go and touch and again come back?
Okay, so for that, I need to go to these smaller time frames. I'll stick with the daily. So if this is our first impulsive wave down, our 1, 2, 3, 4, likely 5 here for our 1. Okay. We put our, oh dear, 1. So 2 usually retraces quite a lot. So at least 50 to 60% of this entire wave. At least, okay?
Yep.
So we get rid of this guy here. Now we have our Fibonacci here. And as well as 2000 being a round number. So 50% is very close to $2,000 here. And as well as that, we also have a lot of resistances up here, which can be a roadblock for us. to look out for. So I wouldn't be surprised if it even comes all the way up here to 78.6.
Fantastic. And it is also bouncing on the 200 moving average as of now, isn't it?
Yeah, yep. So it could be something very interesting for the people out there to take advantage of out there. Another metal worth looking at, which I've noticed, is our high grade copper.
HG.
Mm-hmm. So
Behaves very similar to gold, isn't it?
let's have a look. Let's zoom out a little bit. So, okay, we've had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've had our first impulsive wave down last year. And gold has just had its first impulsive wave down this year. We've had our A, a B, and a C. So this could be 2 here. With again, this will be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. So this one for a long, possibly, although the wave count doesn't really match it. This is a daily time frame. So this is an old pivot point of the monthly pivot point here. So maybe disregard this high grade copper trade here. Apologies for bringing it to your attention.
I've seen a good amount of correlation between this fellow copper and gold, I think. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. In Forex, I'm looking at the dollar yen quite heavily here. Okay, so on our weekly, we have our A. Now A, B, C could be finished right about now. We're at a strong resistance level up here at around $145 to complete this big A-B pattern. So we have A down, A, B, C, the B up here to where we can have C all the way down to possibly right here. Not only that, this ABC has our wave count A, B, and our 5 waves up. Okay, so here we have a 1, a 2, a 3, possibly in here, 4, and our last extended wave up here. And we're just starting to get some red now. So if we get some stronger red, or we pay attention to Parther's rules again with the close below, low taken out, so we start seeing more red coming into the market, that will help us understand that this whole A, B, and C pattern can be complete, where we could potentially be in a very good position to take this trade and ride it all the way down below this guy here. Okay, so that's the dollar yen, which I'm liking a lot out of just about everything at the moment. One thing I did notice on a lot of all these currencies at the moment is, oops. On a weekly time frame, we've got this indecision candle happening everywhere. Okay, so we have that on the Aussie. Have it again on the Euro. Have it again on the pound. I think it's also on gold. So it's not really an indecision candle, but to me, it's a point to take caution on, seeing all this on a big time frame. But if we go back, so when I should have shown you before the Aussie dollar, so how Partha was going over the 2-day signal that was provided through that course that he does. It also sort of lines up with this wave count being complete, as to he closed it as a very good position. So here we have our 1, our 2, now green 3, where we have our green 4 down here, meaning this whole impulsive wave is not yet complete. And we can anticipate our green 5 to have started here and make our way above the green 3 here. Okay, so that's the Aussie dollar. Again, don't pay attention to that's wrong. So this is likely something like going to be a blue 1 up here, and then a blue 2 afterwards. Okay. So I don't believe this impulsive wave has finished just yet. Okay, so we're going to go up again one more time to take out this high here. So does anyone have any other charts or anything they have any interest in and have any questions about that they would like looked at in front of everyone else, or something they'd like explained?
I like the gold and the yen. Those two are fantastic.
Yeah, they both move a lot, those two. They do make some good points.
Yeah, Marty, I have a question if you've got it in you. I noticed, I remember a couple of ago you mentioned about Bitcoin might reaching its wave 5.
Yeah.
Going up to that, and I'm just curious if you think it's actually reached that endpoint.
Okay, Bitcoin. So, okay. So this 3, okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is still a wave 4 until the high of this guy gets taken out here. Okay, so it's up there. But you also got that possibly an all buyers out bar here, as well as this here. If we look at impulsive and corrective, we've had an impulsive move up here. Okay, all this. And this is correcting a little bit. So we are going to go up a little bit more at least. Okay. So all these numbers I need to update, but at this point in time, that's still a 3. And I'm still keeping this as a 4 until that high of wave 2 has been taken out, then I stick to this analysis here.
Thanks, Marty. Yeah, I'll get out of my short, I think.
Well, in the very short term, yeah, so this is impulsive up. So this is corrective. We'll be going up again eventually a little bit. So yeah, so impulsive down, corrective up, impulsive down. So similar situation on the long side here, although it's still a lot stronger. If we come back to gold with the Elliott wave for Partha, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd be taking this 5 down to here, where it's likely we will start to see our A, B, and C up to these fellows up here somewhere. Okay, so I wonder when Kerry wants to have a chat.
Yeah, absolutely right after you. Yeah,
Okay.
that clears a lot on the 2000 mark on the gold. Yeah.
I'm okay. You know, whatever you guys need to do, I'll just change what I need to change to suit. Like, people are here to hear you guys. I can do this whenever, so you just go for it.
Okay. Cool. So we can look at the S&P 500,
Nasdaq had a great fall.
Nasdaq. We'll come to that one as well. So again, impulsive all the way up here, corrective down. It looks like we're still correcting here, quite possibly still in a correction. Where once we get a solid 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the upside, and I'm still thinking this is just a correction. So that this here would be an A in our magenta, and our B, waiting for our C to go below A here. So that's one interesting chart to keep on your radar, as this could still be just one big correction at the moment. And the Nasdaq is nearly on some of my target levels up here, around 15,500 for another A and a B, with our possible C to come back below this fellow here. So we've had our A, then we have our A, B plus 5 pattern. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. This might be 4 here, where we're nearly at number 5 here. And again, we've touched our channel 1, 2, 3, 4 times, meaning this wave here is very close to being finished. So that's why I had my eyes on Tesla earlier. I was looking at this guy here. Apart from that, I think it's all pretty quiet at the moment. I just had that long opportunity on the Australian dollar. gold was long. The sterling. Okay, so A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4. This fifth wave isn't quite finished yet. And 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll have a fifth wave up here again somewhere, just higher than this one. And that can complete a major wave 4. Okay, so that's our 3 down here, our major 3. Our major 4 here, meaning our major 5 can be way below this guy here. So this last wave here, this one here, it's still going on our 4 hour. So from this 4 here, which is this guy here, 1, 2, 3, 4, hit our target, which we posted on our videos down here, where we're looking to see wave 5. I think only just above this guy here. Oops. Hang Seng. It's a bit tricky. So A and a B down here. And I think C will be a pretty strong C wave going up for the Hang Seng in due time. And maybe by the end of this month.
Thank you, Muddy. I think you are struggling with your voice.
Yeah, I am a little bit.
Brilliant. Absolutely bold step for, for almost more than half an hour with that asthma attack, which can be horrible. I know I suffer it for 12 months a year, 365 days. Every day I have to take one what is that, tablet or a nasal spray.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Yeah, but this Tesla. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks a ton. This just before we moving to Kerry, this Tesla on this one, the analysis is Muddy said, and we keep on talking on Tesla. And we also gave an offer to all of you regarding our Webull, if you remember. Webull is a broker who is trying to establish its position in Australia. Webull. They are big in the United States. So they sent us an offer, and we in turn actually forwarded you the offer to you. Those of you who have made $5, $10, $15, $20, depending on your doubt on Webull, whether it is a scam or not. Where the last thing we'll be doing is giving anything of that sort. So what we gave is we gave an opportunity to earn money free from Webull, Webull app. They are in app now, a mobile app. So the Webull offer came here, and we forwarded it to you as an IB of Webull in Australia. So you can actually spend $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, and I know our traders who have spent $5 and they got free Tesla 1/8 shares multiplied by 5 in that term, depending on how much they have spent. The $5 has gone to $180 or $200. That is good. I generally do not see this type of offer, but this is the first time I saw this offer in last 10 years, if I'm not wrong. In last 10 to 12 years, organization which is trying to establish Webull as a broker, trying to establish in Australia. They are requesting us to send you. And if you can open an account and deposit $2, $5, $10, $25, $100, doesn't matter. The dollar amount is not in, but the belief that yes, there can be some free stuff as all. But contrary to this, they say there is no free lunch. But at NP Financials, we say You might get some free lunch now and then. With this, probably I hand over to Kerry Brown. Kerry, welcome back, and it's all yours. Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Marty.
Oh, hang on, I've got to remember how to do this now.
Yeah, the fifth icon at the bottom middle, arrow within a rectangle pointing up, arrow pointing up within a rectangle at the bottom.
Okay. Yep, you guys have got it. Okay.
We can hear you, Kerry. We can see your screen.
All right. So I am going to skip across some things, and that's fine. You know, you guys know most of it anyway. It's much more important to hear what you came for. So my main thing, I've heard a lot at the moment about mindset, not just from you guys, well, from traders, but from everybody, parents, all sorts of things. And I suppose, you know, what we think of mindset is that it's a predictor of, you know, our decisions, our thinking, our behavior. And it's based on what we expect to be our outcomes, but it also reinforces whatever outcomes we have. It's often thought that it is just a psychological thing. So if you change your internal dialogue, you will change everything and everything will work out well and it is fine. And obviously things are a choice and everything is a choice, but the things that are also considered important the neurological side of things, the body systems, and I know Partha has talked about some of those body systems and chemical systems before. So to look at it in, I suppose, my way, rather than the traditional way, looking at mindset being an umbrella term, being for an alignment or a balance with the brain and the body and the mind and everything together. We can look, I suppose, at it as evaluating and making changes to the brain, body, and mind so we can create ourselves as the optimum performance machine, as one way of putting it. So, yeah, we're looking at our chemicals, our brain structure, and our body processes and our body itself. So we all know, you know, what the normal mindset is. I've talked about that before. You know, it's all positive, and you know, if you're positive, you'll succeed. Those sorts of things. You know, there's a bull for a great market, bear for a down market. You know, things are all the same, but we need to start thinking about things differently. And I love my little bear bull there. I made that myself.
This is fantastic, Kerry. I love it.
It took me a while, but I got there. I think the original definition of mindset, I think, is really important. So it is an actual psychological or neuroplasticity term. And originally the mindset was a fixed mindset, was something that changes over time. So fixed mindset was we're born with what we are and we have no changes. We're not able to make changes. And a growth mindset was something that you developed over time and changed with your experiences and over your lifespan. So really, you know, looking at that, everyone has a growth mindset. You know, studies these days have actually told us that everyone does have a growth mindset. We don't want to be positive all the time. There's positive toxicity, they call it. And it's just you push down too many things that you don't actually look at what's real and what's there, what you need to change and what you need to adjust to. Something else I think people, like the common thing is that thinking is behavior and that's it. Whereas it actually goes both ways. So when I talk about behavior, I'm talking about, you know, when you're looking, say, at your trading platform, the information you see. So you see some red, you see some green, you see lines, you see bars, you see all sorts of things. That's your neurology. That's the brain. But when what you do with that information, that is your thinking. That's what your psychology is. That's how you do things. So your behavior initially changes your thinking, and what you do with the information. But once you've got that information, your thinking actually makes you or helps you decide how to analyze that information to decide whether you want to buy or sell or go long or go short or whatever the case is. So one affects the other and you can't have either. So I consider things to be a success mindset. So the success mindset really is we're looking at achieving our goals on our own definition of our goals. We're thinking and behaving differently for different situations. There is no one set mindset. And yeah, I've worked in banking before, so I know equity and things like that. And you actually look at what you've got available for to achieve your goals. So yeah, what resources you have available. So you need to make sure that you don't compare yourself to other people. You just need to be happy with what you are and that you've done the best you can and you've used all of the resources and everything you've got available at your disposal, and that's all you need to care about. And
5 second here, 5 second here, Kerry. We were not
yeah,
knowing that Kerry was in banking sector, and she is
yes.
well, quite knowledgeable about equity. So this is a plus point for Kerry. My goodness, thank you so very much. Okay, continue.
It actually was quite strange when all of a sudden one day I just sort of like went, oh yeah, I used to do the investment, but it just looked different back then because I didn't have internet. So yeah, I used to actually be a part of the team that looked after the investment for National Australia Bank.
Thank you for letting
Yeah.
us know.
Yeah, so we're looking at our success mindset. When we change how we see things, then obviously, as I've said before, we look at a new past, which creates a new future because then we have new expectations and everything can just flow from there if you're open to it. Right. So looking at the neurological side of things, obviously I'll try and skip over this actually. We are based on reward. Everything we do is based on reward. Chemically, we can't have the higher thought structures without having the chemicals and the physical structures to be able to do these things. We can't have any of those things without the brain responses, the physical aspect of things. And I know that Partha has talked about, amygdala and cortisol and things like that before, which is really important. And I will get to that. I'm hoping that I've actually managed to explain it properly because it is quite complex. So first of all, talking about our wiring, I have talked about that before. So the wiring that we have is significant. Obviously, with our growth mindset, it develops over time and it develops with our exposure. Last time I actually didn't have the correct picture. Now I have the correct picture here. You can see how our neural pathways change over time. So at birth, we have barely anything. 2 years, we have nearly everything. And then we prune it down. And at 10 to 13, that's actually when our prefrontal cortex actually comes into the picture, which is when we start thinking more rationally, those sorts of things. And then we start pruning again and we come down to what we are as an adult, which isn't to say that we can't build anymore, but it's just a little bit more difficult. So the old Hebb's law of it fires, it wires. So the more you do something, the more it becomes automatic and the more the neural pathways develop for that particular action, reaction, thought, behavior, those sorts of things. So we've got that. So the wiring is what helps us move information from one part of our brain to the other, so we can actually develop our thoughts and react and process. It also looks at what parts of the brain are used. So if we don't use one part of the brain, or say if you've got, say if you're blind, obviously you can't use any visual input, so you have to rely on other senses. So we don't have any wiring for things that we can't use. And our wiring also allows us to link our memories, emotions, and meaning all together, so we're able to use it at a later date. So wiring is one thing. The neurons that actually create the wiring are actually obviously a separate thing, but they are really, really important. So with our neurons, we have the dendrite, which is our input, and we have the axon, which is where our information travels through. The myelin sheath is actually very important. That looks after the speed that any messages travel down the axon. And of course, we have the terminal at the end, which then passes things on to the next neuron. So if we look at the wiring of this, and it will all make sense a little bit more later on, I promise. We have a wiring and it looks like that. Basically, it comes in, builds up, and it shoots through and goes to the next. So our body and brain responses, which are the things that I suppose are the most important in this area, and they are the ones that Partha has talked about before. So we are looking at the amygdala pathways. We are the chemical and hormone responses, a stress response, and the fight and flight. So we're looking at the good and the bad in both of those things, and what sort of things can go wrong, and what sort of things can go right. We need to make sure the good outweighs the bad. So I like to look at things as in the word tons, as in TONS. So it can be tons of help or tons of trouble. So those stress responses and the chemical processes and that, they work on if something is a threat and what degree of a threat. If it's out of nowhere or sudden, not expecting it. If it's new or something that you haven't experienced before, or it's a new way of putting old information together. And also whether you've got a sense of security or whether you feel like you're in control or not. So if it's a threat, then, if you don't feel like you're in control and you feel threatened. So our amygdala pathway is quite complex. Well, all of it is quite complex, and hopefully I will explain it properly. So feelings and emotions are different. There's a lot of confusion about those things. Emotions are the things that are in our amygdala, and that's what we respond to without realizing that we are. They're those automatic responses that we have. So the amygdala has their own pathway. It itself holds on to the memories of fear, anger, and trauma. Whereas the hippocampus holds on to memories just in general. The amygdala does hold on to memories of its own, and that they're the memories that you don't realize that you have. You're sitting down and you're about to do something, and you feel that overwhelming anxiety or fear, or it's kind of like, I think Partha sort of said before, you sitting there and you go like, do I do it? Do I don't do it? And the anxiety becomes so big that you just can't, but you can't explain why. That's generally the amygdala taking over, and you have no idea what the emotion is from. It actually controls other parts of the brain, and that is something that Partha has also talked about before with the amygdala hijack. It's not just the prefrontal cortex, which is our thinking area, that gets affected, but it actually also can, if it wants to, disengage the hippocampus, so other memories, and then we're just purely working on pure instinct and pure fear or anger, and all of those behaviors come from the cerebellum, which is the little brown reddish bit at the back, and those behaviors are all automatic. And I do know also Partha has talked about things being unconscious behaviors and unconscious thoughts and things like that, and the cerebellum is the place where that comes from. And during the stress or threat, dopamine is actually released from the amygdala, and it's sent to the hypothalamus that starts the stress response. So the next
So well
bit.
explained. I learned a lot. Beautiful explanation. Yeah, beautiful, Kerry. Wonderful. Continue.
Okay. This bit is the complicated bit because it's the bit that a lot of people don't know about. So the stress response, so we know about, the cortisol and the stress response that it is HPA excess and things like that. But most people don't understand or don't realize that there are also neurohormones. So we have neurotransmitters, which is this beautiful little video here. This is how the neurotransmitters work. So we have serotonin, which looks after our mood and how we're feeling, that sort of thing. And it goes from one to the other without, there's like your little receptors. It goes from one to the other and everything works well. But if we're looking at neurotransmitters themselves, then we have different functions. So we have, norepinephrine, which is a wonderful one that most people don't realize is there. So that gives you alertness, attention, motivation, and different things individually, just like dopamine has different individual functions. But when you look at a neurohormone, which is from the hypothalamus, that's when things actually come together and become a process rather than just individual functions themselves. So as an example of that, so like, the learning, and we have a balanced motivation of not just reward, but we have a motivation of what's best for us as well. I do have, where's my example? So yeah, if we're looking at the separate, we've got those individual things. So if we're, as an example, if we're looking at them together, we've got, say, you're sort of, I see Ben sort of sitting at his platform, like in front of everything with all his millions of windows and things set up and in front of him. And I have no idea how he pays attention to all of that. But with the two neurohormones, so norepinephrine and dopamine, he's able to sit down, he knows what he's got to do. He's got the memory recall to be able to know what he's got to do in that moment to be able to put a trade on. He knows what to pay attention to on the platform in that moment, so he can look at exactly what he needs to do in this moment. He's able to use his memories and his knowledge to analyze, make decisions, and then he's able to put all this together to make an action or a reaction from the information. So it's only through the combination through neurohormones and things like that that those processes are able to be made, which is why norepinephrine and dopamine are actually so important. The thing that defines dopamine and norepinephrine from everything else pretty much is that they are a neurotransmitter, a neurohormone, and a hormone. They are the only things that cover all three aspects and have very similar but also different functions at the same time. My computer looks like it's about to have a hissy fit. Okay, so we're going through to the HPA axis, which is like what Partha has talked about. So the process that we talked about previously was a low stress situation. It's like our everyday stress that we have that, when we're doing our normal everyday life, that's what sort of pops up and we go, oh my God, what have I got to do? And that helps us perform. It helps us, it gives us what we need to be able to perform better than if we were sort of half asleep and not really paying too much attention. The HPA axis, which releases our cortisol, it is triggered in a higher stress situation. So if, the original norepinephrine and dopamine response isn't enough to fix the problem or solve the issue, then the HPA axis is actually triggered, but it is triggered by dopamine and the norepinephrine. So once that's happened, the release of the hormones, so that is the actual HPA axis, which from the pituitary gland, which then comes down to our kidneys, which is a strange place for them, I know. And that gland then releases the hormones to help us perform better, which isn't just for our brain, it's for our body as well. So, we need to not be hungry while we're trying to solve this huge problem, with something physical. So it shuts off some things and it increases other things. We may need more blood around our body. We may need less, say for the fight or flight, you need less blood and focus on digestion and more on your muscles and things like that. So that's what that response does. So dopamine, norepinephrine, and adrenaline are all the hormones in addition to the cortisol. So this is the process as it looks. So it triggers in the pituitary gland, and then it sends it all down to the kidneys, and it's actually through the blood rather than through impulses like the neurotransmitters. It actually goes through the bloodstream. So cortisol being a really important trigger that we use, we are looking at low levels of cortisol, which are released regularly during the day, are really good. They help us with our performance. They do more than just that lower level stress response itself. So it does release differently during the day. So at nighttime, it is less. So if you are trading late at night, you're less likely to get that additional focus, things like that. So cortisol does help with...
Now we understand why we discourage people to trade night shift because of this cortisol. Thank you so much.
That's okay. So it does enhance our thinking. It does distract. It cuts down distractions and things like that. It actually improves our mood, and it actually turns off the stress response when it's over. It likes to keep us even and happy, and homeostasis, I believe it's called, if I got that right. After the stress response, if it's still not good enough and there's still stuff going on, then we hit the fight or flight. So our fight or flight is the ultimate response to threat and stress. It's where we decide whether it is best to run, whether it's best to fight or freeze for whatever is going on. Now, I know that there's been others that have added to that, but I myself think that they are more psychological than physical, so I will look at them later. Fawn is one of those, which is the people pleasing and those sorts of things, which, I think that is more psychological. So if you look at it, when you're buying or selling, do you work on fear? Are you too aggressive and you work on anger? Or do you just do nothing because that's safer? And I really like referring to the quote that Mark Douglas had, and I'm doing this one from memory. I can't quite remember exactly, but I believe it's 95% of trading mistakes comes from attitude towards mistakes, being wrong, losing money, missing out, and money on the table, I believe. And really, you can look at that if you are looking at in a fight or flight. You could look at that as in, are you being too cautious? Are you not following, the idea and the trading plan that you have? Are you doing that, or are you just working on that fear emotion? Are you being too aggressive to make sure that you haven't done those things? You don't want to leave anything on the table, so you're just going to do whatever because you just can't be there. Or are you just going to do absolutely nothing at all because not spending money is better than losing money? So you end up with nothing, but you end up with that mindset that you've achieved nothing at the same time. So with the fight or flight, the hippocampus, so the memories, and the prefrontal cortex, which is your thoughts and your analytical mind, they are disengaged. So you don't actually have those things there. You work completely on instinctive behaviors and things that you don't have control of or you're not aware of. The amygdala hijack is exactly what this is. It's done during a time when it's actually meant to be done. So during that time, the hormones of cortisol, dopamine, and norepinephrine, so as hormones, take over other brain functions. So those in particular actually stop the neurotransmitter dopamine because that is reward based and it doesn't like unpleasant. So it stops anything unpleasant. So it stops that, and then it actually uses the hormone to make sure that we're motivated to do whatever is the best thing for us in that moment, whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, who cares? It's just whatever needs to be done. The norepinephrine stops the serotonin. Oh, yeah, catching it. It actually stops serotonin because it doesn't want you to work on whatever's the best for your mood. It wants you to work on whatever's right. So it will stop the serotonin. So you actually don't care about how it feels or what mood it puts you in. It's just whatever needs to happen. So the things that can go wrong. So amygdala hijack. So we've got the damage to the neurons. So you can see that if that myelin sheath, which I actually talked about before, messages are too slow, then we aren't able to think as quickly. We're not able to do things. It's, we end up with low mood, we're emotionally unstable, we're not able to think clearly, we do risky behaviours, concentration is difficult, getting distracted easily, the butterfly effect, which is that, oh, look, butterfly. And we end up being fidgeting and impatient. So do we just, oh my God, I've just got to do something because I'm sitting here and I'm doing nothing, or you're fidgeting with something else, so you're just halfway doing things and you're not really paying attention. And yeah, is when mistakes are made also. So we have that, which is, and that we have neurotransmitters and difficulties to neurotransmitters. So if we look at, like I said, norepinephrine stops serotonin. So this is what sort of, I suppose, happens. So the norepinephrine blocks the receptors so the serotonin can't get through. If you I suppose, have too much of the norepinephrine because you're constantly in a heightened state of arousal, then you will always feel low and you'll always feel sad and nothing will be good and nothing will be rewarding. You won't have the feelings of pleasure that will come with things that will then make you motivated to do more things again. It can also reduce the number of neurons we have, the neural pathways. So we end up with fewer neural pathways and less ability to think, pass messages through, take in information. We're likely to miss things that we may not have missed before. And the beautiful amygdala hijack. So that when it's supposed to, it's great because we know what we have to do to protect ourselves. But in other aspects, if we are constantly in the fight, flight, or freeze mode, we stop using our rational thinking and we are constantly working on what is our instinct without thinking about it first. The things that can influence us or influence our brain and body process So we have the burnout and the stress. So obviously too much stress, adrenal fatigue, we don't end up with any more cortisol because our adrenal glands just can't do it anymore. Being sick, that's obviously our body's not working properly. We're just feeling terrible. I know how that feels for quite a few weeks. And you can't think clearly, nothing's working, and your body is working on making you feel better, not doing what you need to do in front of you. Sleep is important because it is the only thing that will control cortisol. It's if you don't sleep, cortisol will continue to build in your body, and then you end up with too much, and that ends up doing that whole stress response constantly, always in fight or flight, and you end up with your fear trading and fear of missing out and emotional sort of trading. Our environment is really important, not just because of the weather, but also we're looking at the environment of where you are at the time. So if you're in a place that's noisy and you're like me and noise just really bugs you and you end up being angry and it gets to you, then that's something that will affect how you trade and how you look at things, how you evaluate situations, because things start to shut down. The weather can affect you with different disorders. So there is a seasonal affective disorder, which just makes you sad just because it's wet, it's rainy, it's terrible, it's gross. And there's different things in the air. It's just one of those times when you would rather be at home rather than work. Our diet, obviously, our diet makes a huge difference to everything. Some of our food can damage our neurons and our brain chemistry, just as our medication can. Some medications actually are intended to change our neurotransmitters and our hormone levels, things like that. Our mental health. So mental health, a lot of different conditions are involved with changing our neurotransmitters and our body functions, things like that. We have, anxiety, which is not as bad as it sounds. We need our anxiety, but we tend to try and stop our anxiety. Mental health, if we're feeling down and depressed, we tend to think more negatively, say, about things than we would otherwise. And the amount of time we give ourselves and the deadlines we give ourselves as well are also a big influence. But there are a lot of other influences. These are the things that influence us physically more than psychologically. So fixing, what do we do to help fix it? So obviously prevention is better than cure. So we need to rewire our brain. So with rewiring, we look at doing things that we wouldn't ordinarily do. So I think one of the most important things is a gratitude, being grateful. So it sounds really stupid, little things to be grateful of. I don't know, it's sunny today, or I feel well, which is actually something for me. My back doesn't hurt. Small things, and it's not a matter of whether you're grateful for it, whether it's significant. It's a matter of rewiring your brain for being grateful for things. I like reflection journals because they allow you to look at your day, look at everything that you've done, and make you decide what you could have done better. What did you really well today? Those sorts of things. I think learning to trust your body. Don't stress about being stressed. Know that it's a natural part of the process and that your body will do what it needs to do to maintain the best possible performance. Going outside, and Benjamin, do not say a word with this one. Just 10 minutes outside helps you with coping with stress and actually increases your mood and helps you with things cognitively. I think that's one of those things that I actually need to listen to myself. And finding your nothing box. Nothing box is really, really important. It's the place where you go to where just nothing else exists in the world. All of your issues disappear. And that, yeah, some people can meditate and find that. I'm one of those people who can't meditate to find the nothing box. It has to be some sort of activity to do. So it's also really, really important to acknowledge your emotions. So no emotion is stupid. No emotion is wrong. And no emotion is wrong in any particular situation. You need to be able to acknowledge what it is. And then once you've acknowledged what it is, then you can objectively look at why you're feeling that. And then you can start learning the trend and what you need to do to avoid those things in that particular moment. Changing our automatic behaviors. So we're looking at, with the automatic behaviors, I think this one is really important because it's about practice. It's about repetitive, just repetitive behaviors of the correct behaviors. If you practice enough, the correct behaviors will go into the cerebellum. And then it doesn't matter whether you get hijacked by your amygdala. The thing is, the correct behaviors are in your cerebellum, so you will most likely just use them anyway. So they will come out when you need them the most. I wouldn't rely on that necessarily, but it's more likely than not that those things are going to come in. And it's important to look at the techniques that suit you as an individual. Because like I said before, you don't want to look at somebody else. What somebody else needs to help them do their trading is something different to what you might need. It's what your goals are. It's what your priorities are. It's the things that you need to look at for you to be able to sit down and be your best. So that's what those sorts of things are. And I went through that really quickly because I did have to miss a bit. Is that okay? Did everyone get that?
It's a tremendous thing. Congratulations to Kerry for delivering an exceptional webinar on trading psychology. Your expertise and insightful approach truly made it the best webinar to date, much better than me and Marty struggling for last so many months. Empowering traders with valuable psychological strategies for success in the market. Really, it was wonderful, Kerry. I cannot praise you more. I don't have any words to tell you, but it clears so many things, including the difficult ones like the amygdala hijack, HPA axis. We know we are talking about this amygdala HPA for last 10 to 13 years. But I'm honest enough to tell you that I have not gone any near to what you explained today, and through your visual and through your explanation. Really a great job done, Kerry. Tremendous. Any questions to Kerry, please?
It's a lot to digest. And I could have definitely done probably one whole session on each of them. But I had to, pretty much speed through them. But I mean, if anyone is interested, I would be more than happy to actually spend more time on each individual one to get better knowledge, more out of what you could do to help. But yeah, speeding through a little bit too quick, maybe.
One question from my son, Abhishek Banerjee. He asked, is that a bullish bear or a bearish bull?
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't thought of that.
I'll tell this answer to him. Fantastic, brilliant. No, Kerry, you did, really did a fantastic job. And the presentations and the videos and the audios which you are coming across, which you are presenting to us, is mind blowing, because I have read couple of, not couple, maybe 20 books on psychology and brain, and hundreds of books on trading psychology, but I've never seen a person explaining so difficult things in so lucid manner, the way you did in last 1 hour. Is fantastic, Kerry. Tremendous. I would encourage
It's
all of the. Sorry, I would encourage all of you take advantage of Kerry's expertise. Of course, she will be with us, and she will be taking the courses in different format of helping traders. Doesn't matter which asset class. And I'm quite sure, with her knowledge and with her presentation way, and her experience and expertise and patience level, she will go very far, not only in Australia, but across our clients across the globe. Fantastic. Any questions to me or Marty or Kerry? You have 40 seconds. If no, I thank you all. Special thanks to Kerry and Marty. Marty, you being sick, but you stayed there and showed us tremendous moves on gold and yen. And with that, we'll conclude this session, and we'll be talking to you in 1 month's time. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time and effort. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you,
Hi,
Partha.
everyone.
Thank you, Kerry.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.